رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. وقل رب زدني علما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إنما جزاء الذين يحاربون الله ورسوله يسعون في الأرض فسادا أن يقتلوا أو يصلبوا أو تقطع أيديهم وأرجلهم من خلاف أو ينفوا من الأرض ذلك لهم خزي في الدنيا ولهم في الآخرة عذاب عظيم إلا الذين تابوا من قبل أن تقدروا عليهم فاعلموا أن الله غفور رحيم. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues with the elucidation of other crimes committed. Here we're talking about hudud, and there's quite a lot of discussion here, so we'll see what we can do today. Perhaps we'll be able to complete the discussion here that we want to discuss. We've been going on discussing this for years. However, the basic points we would like to touch upon, perhaps in 2 days we'll be able to do that. Bidhnillahi ta'ala. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا جَزَاءُ الَّذِينَ يُحَارِبُونَ اللَّهِ. That definitely, or those who perpetrate what is known as muharaba, those who, it means literally those who fight with Allah and His Rasul. They are in warfare with Allah and His Rasul. And here it doesn't mean in the battlefield. Here what is referred to is the highway robbery and the gangs and like what we have pretty much today still. In Arabia, obviously there wasn't central government, and gangs, tribes would lay by the roadside, and they would attack caravans, and they would attack travelers, and they would kill, they would loot, they would sometimes just frighten someone and escape. And so this is concerning such groups who are not only killing and looting, but they are causing huge disturbance in society. The whole society is disrupted because of their their corruption and their what is known as fasad fil ard. وَيَسْعَوْنَ فِي الْأَرْضِ فَسَادًا. And they yas'a basically means that they move about in the earth creating fasad, corruption and chaos, and frightening the people and really disturbing society in general. So what is the punishment for them? So for the punishment for them, these different options are mentioned. Number one, أَن يُقَتَّلُوا, that they will be killed. أَوْ يُصَلِّبُوا, or they'll be crucified. Crucified means they'll be strung up on the cross, as the Christians claim that Isa alayhi salam, when of course Isa alayhi salam was not crucified. But these people will be crucified. Not only that, they're strung up on the posts, and their stomachs are slit open, and they're left there to die as a deterrent for anyone to think of doing such a thing. Okay? أو تقطع أيديهم وأرجلهم من خلاف. Or third option is that their hands and feet will be cut from the different sides. Right hand cut, left foot cut. أو ينفوا من الأرض. Or they will be expelled from the land. So these are 4 options. So these 4 options are for these groups. These are not for for the person who just murders somebody. We're going to talk about that later. It's qisas. And someone who steals, a thief, a lone thief who steals. One thing is stealing secretly, in a way that taking something which is hidden or something which is concealed or protected. Another is, this type of muharaba, right, in the open. And another is just snatching things, openly. And so that has its own punishment. And the last option is that they will be expelled from the earth. Okay, so here in the Arabic language, this word "o," which basically means the option, this or this or this or this or this. So, do we have various options which the ruler could utilize wherever he sees fit? That's the opinion of Imam Malik and some of the other Imma. However, most of the Imma, including Abu Hanifa, Shafi'i, Ahmad, radiallahu anhum, their opinion is that no, actually the option is for specific different types of crimes. So for those who will kill, they loot, and they frighten the people, and they cause disruption in the earth, so for that they will get the maximum. They will be crucified, and they will be killed in that terrible manner because they have committed all of those. If they have only killed and they haven't looted, yuqattalu. And also the sigr al-taf'il. Yuqtal is one thing, yuqattal, it means more emphasized. So meaning that the whole group will be killed. Suppose only one person killed the person or the people. The others were part of the group. So they will also be held accountable similarly, and they will also be executed in that way. What about if they only stole? They only stole, but they didn't kill people. Okay, for them, hands and feet cut. And what about those who didn't kill, they didn't steal, but they were just causing a lot of chaos on the roadways and frightening people and causing tension and fear and terror among people? Yunfaw min al-ard, they'll be exiled from the earth. So what does that mean? So some say they'll be exiled from Dar al-Islam, send them to the kuffar where they belong, Or some say, well, at least out of the area where they have been in operation. Perhaps in another area they would not be able to reach those heights, or they would be separated from their gangs. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, well, you send them here, you send them there, they're going to do the same thing. So send them to jail, lock them up. So they're not going to be, that's nafi, that's a real nafi, that's going to really keep them out of trouble, or keep them out of the field or the arena where they can create trouble. And this probably is what most of the Imma and what most of the Islamic governments had adapted thereafter. ذلك لهم خزي في الدنيا ولهم في الآخرة عذاب عظيم. And that is in this world, that meaning that punishment, whatever the punishment is prescribed according to or appropriately with the crimes committed, as mentioned. So in the world, that will be a khizyu, that will be a humiliation, very terrible humiliation for them in the world. وَلَهُمْ فِي الْآخِرِ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. And not to mention the terrible punishment that they're going to have to face in the hereafter. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ تَابُوا مِنْ قَبْلِ أَن تَقْدِرُوا عَلَيْهِمْ. Except, the exception here is for those who تَابُوا مِنْ قَبْلِ أَن تَقْدِرُوا عَلَيْهِمْ. Suppose we have people who have been doing such acts, and they are, they come willingly and they surrender themselves, and they say, we're very sorry about what we did, and we're creating tawbah. And this actually happened during the time of Sahaba, in time of Tabi'in. And so, in terms of the capital punishment, it might be excused. But if there is rights of the huquq of the ibad, the rights of the people, for example, they killed somebody, so qisas will be enacted, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, which is retribution, just retribution by the inheritors. Or if they've stolen, they've taken money, they've misappropriated wealth, then they'll have to be held responsible for that. If the people whose wealth it was hold them responsible. However, in fact, if they accept Islam, if they were not Muslims, they accept Islam, then we have the incident in the time of Sahaba that they were totally excused because there's such an encouragement to accept Islam. And of course, Islam forgives all things that took place beforehand. But again, if there are rights of the people, And we're going to talk about that in more detail tomorrow when we talk about the different types of punishments. There's not simply a punishment and a crime and a punishment like we have in the civil courts or the civil penal codes. This punishment has this, and the judge has the discretion to do whatever he likes. It's not the case. We have three different types of injunctions and three different types of crimes, and they all have their own sort of peculiar paradigms and their own particular injunctions. So, for those who would perform tawbah before they are caught. Now, suppose they're already caught and they say, "Okay, we're making tawbah." Okay, Allah may accept it, but the government is not going to accept it. They will be punished in any case. فَعْلَمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, and know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most kind and merciful. So tomorrow, inshallah, we'll talk about the three different types of injunctions and what are the ramifications in all of them. بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. سُبْحَانَكَ وَبِحَمْدِكَ نَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنتَ نَسْتَغْفِرُكَ وَنَتُوبُ إِلَيْكَ.